Hi, my name is Nur Haslin and I will present on issue relating to high income nation status. This presentation consists of 5 parts. The first one will be the introduction. Then I'll go further on the issue, influx of foreign workers. Then I will move on to analysis based on 3 waves of growth from Herod Doma, Solo and Swan, and Romer and Lucas. After that, I will go to the implications, and finally, I will wrap up with the conclusion.
According to the World Bank, high income group meaning that a country's gross national income must reach a certain level, for which Malaysia must reach a value of 51,000 ringgit Malaysia. Here, we are using real gross domestic product, GDP per capita, as it measures the standard of living of a country and allows for a better comparison between countries. Based on the graph, in 2015, the real GDP per capita is estimated of 1 billion ringgit Malaysia. Thus, in 2020, it is expected to reach 1,400 billion. Therefore, in order for Malaysia to be inclusive in high-income group, it has to increase the real GDP per capita by 70 billion or 5% to 6% on average per year. So, what is the issue with high-income nation status? Actually, there are various issues such as Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement, exchange rate volatility, political stability, and many more. However, for this presentation, I will emphasize on one issue, which is immigrant workers. According to the article from the World Bank, it is stated that a 10% net increase in low-skilled foreign workers may increase real GDP by up to 1.1%. To what extent this statement can be true? The statistics from Ministry of Home Affairs reported that the number of foreign workers in Malaysia is 2 million people, and there is about 1 million of them are illegal. And to note, the highest number of foreign workers is in manufacturing sector, as in 2014. The issue of foreign workers is further strengthened with the decision to bring in 1.5 million foreign workers to create job opportunities in Malaysia by 2020. Now let us have a look at Malaysia's unemployment rate. Unemployment rate has risen from 2014 to 2015, which is from 2.9% to 3.1% respectively. Therefore, many people are jobless and actively seeking for a job. Diagram above shows a production possibility frontier, or PPF, where at point X, factors of production are inefficient due to high unemployment rate in 2015. Nevertheless, if Malaysia fully utilize all labor and capital, point X will shift to the blue line and move along it. And with a better technology, the blue line then will be shifted to the dotted line in red. Next, I'll move to the analysis part. This analysis is based on 3 waves of growth. The first one is Herod Domar, and the second one is Solo and Swan, and the third one is Romer and Lucas. The first one is Herod Domar model, or is known as post-Keynesian growth theory. Herod Domar model suggests that growth rate depends on saving ratio and capital per output ratio. For instance, foreign workers in Malaysia spend their money and save a lot. However, high remittances by foreign workers back in their home country and low savings ratio by young generation in Malaysia resulted in less contribution in GDP, including growth. Therefore, influx of foreign workers do not contribute to a high percentage of GDP due to low savings ratio. In terms of capital per output ratio, inflow of low-skilled foreign workers do not lead to a better productivity. Hence, capital per output ratio is high, meaning that more capital is needed to produce an output. But, in Keynesian theory, consumption by these foreign workers can increase GDP in the future.
In contrast, exogenous growth theory by Solo and Swan state that capital and labor are not the only sources of growth, and technology is the main driver for future growth. And according to Cobb Douglas production function, it shows that technology is augmented to a labor. The decision to bring 1.5 million of a low-skilled foreign workers do not allow technological expertise to be transferred in Malaysia. And besides that, labor and capital are easily substitutable, makes it hard for Malaysia unless Malaysia is able to shift from labor and capital intensive to technological base. On the other hand, Romer and Lucas emphasize more on production of human capital. And according to exogenous growth theory, besides labor, capital and technology, investment in stock of human capital is necessary to sustain growth. According to Romer in 1986, which supports that investment in research and development can produce new idea, and this idea will be incorporated in the final goods and services. And according to 11 Malaysia Plan, Malaysia also starts to emphasize on this investment. To further extend the exogenous growth theory, Lucas 1988 came up with an idea that investment in education help to produce human capital. This is because in Malaysia, a resourceful human capital leads to higher productivity, thus reduce cost of production and allows more production of goods and services to be produced in Malaysia. For example, a country like Japan, which does not rich in natural resources but has great ideas, lead to a greater growth in the economy. And now we'll go to the implications. There are 4 implications. The first one is investment on education. Second one is establishment of a systematic institution that monitor foreign workers. The third one, a clear guidelines and law enforcement to employers. And lastly, addressing problem of high living standards. Okay, the first one is in education investment. In support of Lucas 1986, prosperous growth can be achieved by investing in education to build human capital. And one of the strategies taken by Malaysia to improve the quality of education is by an establishment of technical and vocational education and training, TVET, namely Akademi Binaan Malaysia, APM, Kiat Mara, Institut Kemahiran Tinggi Belia Negara, and many more. This is because Malaysia needs more skillful human capital as growth in construction sector is expected to grow by 11.1%, and this can reduce a mismatching job in the labor market. And to increase labor productivity, firms can invest in information and communication technology (ICT) in production of a more innovative human capital. Next is a systematic institution. Due to the issue of influx of illegal foreign workers in Malaysia remain unsolved, we need a systematic institution to monitor outflow and inflow of foreign workers. For example, a government can impose a strict law to foreign workers in terms of what can and cannot be done before, during, and after their stay in Malaysia. For example, Singapore and Saudi Arabia ban foreign workers from marrying a local residents, but this is unlikely to happen in Malaysia. And besides that, mismatching talent in the labor market can be reduced by creating a labor warehouse database. Okay, the third one is law enforcement to employers. Due to disequilibrium in terms of demand and supply, particularly of low-skilled jobs, makes a high incentive for employers to hire foreign workers due to cheap labor, where they can reduce cost of production. Therefore, government can come up with a more stringent law where firms must comply by hiring a certain percentage of local fresh graduates from Tibet, and hence help reducing unemployment among fresh graduates. The last implication is addressing high living standards. There is an opportunity cost of becoming a high income nation. This is because high income nation is usually associated with high standard of living. Becoming a high income nation is meaningless if people can afford the rise in the living standards. Therefore, government must have to, must have control over the price level in the economy. One of the initiatives taken by government is Kedai Rakyat Satu Malaysia, Klinik Satu Malaysia, and also affordable housing scheme offered to the people in Malaysia. In conclusion, as in 12 March 2016, Datuk Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi has announced to halt 1.5 million foreign workers from entering Malaysia. This is a wise decision made as Malaysia needs skillful domestic workers, not more foreign workers in Malaysia. And based on the analysis, we can see that economic growth flows in three waves, from the dependency on capital and labor towards a more better technology to produce human capital. Besides that, productivity is also vital to avoid middle income trap. In order to have a more sustainable growth, government can overlook socio-economic and development condition. Thank you.